This is Caitlin, your host of the No Sleep for Dramas podcast, where we get no sleep and survive on coffee to watch just one more episode at night.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode on the No Sleep for Dramas podcast. I'm your host, Caitlin, and it's the end of the month. I cannot believe we are already at the end of January. It feels like it's the longest but also shortest month so far. I'm sure a lot of people have been feeling that way. I just want to say something right before I start this episode. I created this community to find community, create a safe space to talk about the things we like, the Asian dramas we like, the movies we like, be able to gush about actors and things like that. I know that January, especially for me living in Chicago, January's cold. We hibernate. We start watching more TV or listening to more podcasts and kind of just hanging out at home. And obviously, with the political climate we have, things are overstimulating, especially if you're inside hibernating and you can't get away. I just want you to know that I'm also having difficulty with that. You're not alone with that. It's okay to be bothered by that and to avoid the news if it's overwhelming and things like that. We feel like it's never gonna end or we can't do enough, and it seems very negative and it seems very like doomsday type situation. I keep seeing people on social media like doomsday saying there's never going to be a happier time, there's never going to be a better time. And I personally don't believe that. And I hope that this podcast and my community can give you that comfort and hope that this will get better. And we just have to believe that. And we have to do everything we can, protest, speak out, make community within our community, support each other to get past that. And I went to school in Minnesota, so I have friends in Minneapolis. I feel like I have a connection to Minnesota, not that I've ever lived there for long term, but I have family connections there. I went to school there, so I feel an odd sense of connection to that. And plus, I grew up in Wisconsin, so right next door. And it's heartbreaking to see what's happening in that state, and so to see what's happening in Minnesota just breaks my heart because that is not what they deserve, that's not what Minneapolis is, and it's horrible what we're seeing. So I just wanted to say, like, you're not the only one who might feel that January is just a horrible month. It's okay to feel that and know that I'm here and, like, the community's here and Asian dramas and everything will always be here to hopefully give you an escape and hopefully be able to allow you to deal with the things we see online, but also don't bury your head in the sand either. Like, there's ways that you can always fight back, whether that's protesting or calling your senators or congressmen or donating. Or I just want to say, if you're looking for a place that definitely supports the people of Minnesota and hates this political climate we're in and the administration that we're in, I just want you to know that this podcast, me as a podcast host, definitely are in that same boat. I hope I have given you the impression that it has always been the case, and if it has not been the case, I am now saying it. Um, it's just it's horrible, and I hate it, and I hate it so much, and it just seems like January has been a horrible month for that. So, I wanted to just say something, and this is not trying to, like, be on a soapbox or anything like that, but I just wanted to let you guys know that this is a space that hopefully aligns with your same sentiments that I was just talking about and hopefully provides you a escape into Asian dramas that we personally, myself included, have needed from seeing what is everything going on, but also just don't escape too much. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, we do need to protest, we do need to donate, we do need to do everything we can in our power to chip away at what this administration is doing and hope for better days. There's community here in the United States, and there's warm people in the United States, and there's There's a reason why the United States is built the way it is with immigrant populations and sanctuary cities and things like that, and that's what makes United States unique and, in my opinion, a very welcoming and heartwarming place that is proud of its immigrant past. I mean, we all are immigrants in a way. I just wanted to say, if you're looking for a space that supports your same political stance and hates what is being done in the United States right now, I'm there with you and F ICE, absolutely. That being said, we are here to wrap up January. Looking back on 2025, as we did in the first half of January, January has looked starkly different from like not even just December 2025, but the second half of 2025 in terms of drama watching and completing and starting new dramas. I had a very successful January. I watched a lot of movies this month, which is kind of new for me, but I did that for a reason, which you'll find out later. And since I watched a ton of movies this month, it means I have a lot more to talk about than I normally do because I don't watch a ton of movies on a regular basis. But I also still worked on getting dramas off my current watch list, which I again was pretty successful at. Added some things to my current watch list, not since I was completing some things, but I think I did fairly good job in either dropping or completing dramas and getting stuff off my current watch list. I didn't 100% complete everything, but we're getting there. We're getting there. If this is your first time checking into the No Sleep for Dramas podcast, welcome. You are very welcome. Hopefully you enjoy Asian dramas and enjoy talking about Asian dramas and join our little community. If this is your first time checking in on a wrap up episode, I'll quickly explain the format. This is an episode I talk about everything I completed in the previous month that just is ending or ended, aka January 2026. And for the first part of the episode, I talk about everything I completed. I give you mini reviews, I rate them, and I would say if I recommend them to you or not. And then I talk about dramas I dropped, if I dropped anything that month. And then the second half of the episode will be where I talk about every drama I'm looking forward to that is either confirmed and or rumored for February. Now, I can't do an exhaustive list of that because I would be here all day, but I primarily focus on the ones I am personally interested in. And then lastly, at the end of the episode, I talk about some dramas I plan on starting soon due to the podcast recording or that they're older and they're not news, but I'm going to mention them anyway. I have an exhaustive list of that, which is a good and a bad thing when you're a drama watcher because you always have something to watch, even if you're not enjoying anything new coming out. All right, so let's move into what I completed in January. Now, as I said, January was a good month for me, completing dramas and movies, and I did watch a lot of movies in January. Probably not as much as Jess from Daybot K Rambles. And I feel like if I did not watch as many movies as I did, I would have completed some of the other dramas I was trying to get off my current watch list. But overall, I still think I completed some fantastic things and I made good progress. I also added a ton of things to my current watch list. Anyway, this is in no particular order, really, but I'm just going to talk about it and rate them. The first thing I'm going to talk about is the Chinese movie Better Days. I watched this on Amazon Prime. I think right now it's free with ads. You have to just watch some like 2 minutes of ads every hour or something. I knew that this was probably going to be a good movie going in because it was nominated for an Oscar, but I also had no idea what it was about. I intentionally avoided synopsis, spoilers, that kind of thing. I assumed it was going to be a good movie, but I also did not know what it was going to be about. And it was a hard watch for sure. If you want to watch this movie, buckle up. It's not an easy watch because of the subject matter. You have trigger warning for bullying, you have trigger warning for crime. I was not expecting the crime in this. I thought it was a romance, and it is a romance, but it has a much darker tone than I assumed it was gonna be, but it was also incredible. It was an incredible movie. I would highly recommend the movie. The acting was phenomenal, even the villains. I mean, this was a 2019 movie, and Zhao Yi plays a villain in it, and I liked her as an actress, but after this movie, I'm like, "Wow, she has range that I had not seen before." And I cannot believe this is one of her debut projects. It was incredible, her acting, but also the leads like Jackson Yee and the female lead, great, amazing. They deserve the Oscar nomination for sure for this movie. The story was impactful. Again, it was a hard watch, but it was also heartwarming. It was just a very memorable movie, and I don't want to reveal much of the plot or give spoilers. That would harm you as the audience because you wouldn't be able to be as impacted by the story if I gave you spoilers and things. But I will say you have trigger warning for bullying, you have trigger warning for death, murder, you have trigger warning for suicide. So there's some heavy, heavy, heavy topics when it comes to this movie, but in my opinion, it is worth it. It's an incredible movie. My rating for Better Days was a 10 out of 10, and you can watch it on Amazon Prime. Next movie I'm gonna talk about is Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. This is actually a rewatch for me. It's on Amazon Prime, but you had to rent it. So if you want to rent it, you can. This is a very biased review for me because it's one of my favorite movies of all time. I can't tell you how many times I've watched this movie. I even owned the soundtrack on CD growing up, and I would listen to that a lot. It is a very nostalgic movie for me. Does it have flaws? Probably, but I pretty much don't notice them because I just love the movie so much. Has a stacked cast. We have Michelle Yeoh, for example. Love the acting, love the story, love the fight scenes. There's a reason why this movie is a classic. And again, if this is another movie that if you have never seen Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, you should at least at one time in your life watch this movie. I think it holds up from 30 years ago, 20 years ago. It was almost 30 years ago because it came out in 2000. So 25 years ago, something like that. Either way, I watched Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and I absolutely still love that movie. And now I want to listen to the soundtrack like I did as a kid and just listen to it on repeat. I rated Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon a 10 out of 10. I finished up the Japanese drama Last Samurai Standing, which I started in December. I watched this on Netflix and rated it a 9 out of 10. If you like Squid Game or Alice in Borderland, that type of show, you will love this. I love that it kept that manga feel. I love that you learned about characters' backstory with each episode, but I will say I needed more episodes because even though you got a character's backstory and then they got introduced into the story, I wanted more at the same time. Fight scenes were spectacular. I thought they were done very well. Cinematography also lended to the fight scenes and was awesome, in my opinion. You can tell they had budget for this drama. I am so excited that the fact that they confirmed there's going to be a season 2 because it does need one. With the amount of episodes they have, there was not enough episodes to finish the story. They definitely need a season 2. It was a little predictable if you have seen dramas of the same genre like Squid Game or Alice in Borderland because some of tropes that go in with those stories happen in this story. So it was a little predictable where you're like, oh, this person definitely is a goner because of this trope and things like that. But I still enjoyed it. I'm excited for season 2. I'm excited to see what else they can pull off. The next Japanese drama I finished was The Yakuza Boss's Beloved. I watched this on Viki and it's rated an 8.5 out of 10 from me. The Japanese drama was cute and fun, but for me, it wasn't perfect. I loved the male lead and how he took care of the female lead. Another Japanese drama where I feel like it needed more episodes because it jumped from one danger to the next. And for me, it moved too quickly. And I think it needed more episodes to provide more context depth and explanation. I loved the quieter moments between the dangers because the couple together in these quieter moments really shined where you could tell that they liked each other a lot and they supported each other. The quieter moments where they kind of didn't have to say stuff to each other were beautiful. I did need more growth with the female lead because she still was timid by the end. She was timid at the beginning. She made some steps to change her life and change her personality, but overall, it wasn't enough change for me, and I still felt that she was timid by the end, and I felt like I wanted her to grow more. I also loved that the second male lead was not the cliche second male lead. He accepted the fate that was given to him and was not the cliche, tropey, horrible second male lead that you might see in other romance dramas. So I appreciated that. I always appreciate when that happens with second male leads or second female leads for that matter. I needed more Yakuza moments. I loved when they happened, but they were very light because obviously this was more of a romance Japanese drama. The male lead pulled off the Yakuza moments very well and acted very well in them, which is why I wanted more of them. But I will say I did not like his outfit whenever he was the Yakuza boss. It made me laugh every single time because you definitely got the visual that he was a Yakuza boss, but I did not like his outfit, so it kinda threw me off every time he was in the outfit. I rated The Yakuza Boss's Beloved an 8.5 out of 10. The next Japanese drama I completed in January was Lover's Revenge. I watched this on Viki. I don't know how I ended up clicking on this one and The Yakuza Boss's Beloved at the same time because it has the same female lead. And also, it kinda has the same setup, so I was sort of confused at the beginning because it was an office romance at first for both of them, and then it didn't help that the female lead was the same. I will admit I kinda mixed up the stories a little bit at the beginning of both of these dramas, but they are starkly different for sure once you get past, like, the first episode. Lover's Revenge, I like this J-drama a lot more than I thought I would. I did not like the male lead's motivation for starting the relationship in for the female lead in the first place. I thought that just made him an asshole. So I did not like him at the beginning of this drama, but he did change my mind and it did help that the female lead supported him so well. So I came around to him, but at first I was like, "Ew, no, that's not okay." I also very much disliked one parent in this, but it was a surprising twist at the end that kinda made up for the tropiness of it all, so that was nice. I'm not gonna reveal that because it's a spoiler, but as I said with other J-dramas, this J-drama is too short, and also people were forgiven way too quickly, in my opinion, probably because it was so short. There was some much needed conversations that never happened because it ended, and if it did happen, it happened, like, off screen, so we didn't see it, and I needed to see some of those conversations on screen, and they just didn't put them there. It seemed like the people who were considered the villains of this story were just forgiven in a split second, and I didn't particularly like that. I did love, as I said with the parents comment, I did love that this drama broke some of the stereotypes and the tropes that you get with this type of story. So that was always fun to find out and watch because you think it's going one direction and it doesn't. Overall, I like this more than I thought I would, and I rated it an 8.5 out of 10 as well. If I didn't say I rated the Yakuza Boss's Beloved an 8.5 out of 10. Both can be watched on Viki. The last Japanese drama I'm going to talk about is Miss King. You can watch this on Netflix. I rated this also an 8.5 out of 10. I loved the concept for this drama because it gave me vibes of Queen's Gambit mixed with one of those tournament anime where you have the underdog fighting through the ranks and being up against powerful people and then they somehow win every time. It's like a combo of that because you have a female lead. She obviously is dealing with some of the prejudices you might find from Queen's Gambit, and then she's also going up against these highly skilled shogi players in this tournament-esque setup. So I loved the combo of that in this drama. If you like Queen's Gambit or you like that type of anime, you would probably like this Japanese drama. The female lead was great, and acted very well, in my opinion. I would definitely watch the actress in other roles. The drama did go a little dark in parts, darker than I thought it would. I didn't think this was a fluffy, happy-go-lucky drama, but I definitely didn't think it would go as dark as it did. I loved that the drama highlighted the female characters. You could really tell that the female characters were the story, especially the female lead, but even like her father's wife and her mother, they were all a highlight of the story and kind of forward in the story compared to the male characters, in my opinion. As I've said with other Japanese dramas in this episode, this drama needed maybe 2 more episodes because the last episode, I felt like everybody just gave up, and then there was a time jump by a lot, like a year, and we were given no context of what the characters were doing in that year time jump. So all of a sudden, you were seeing people interacting, and I'm like, how did they get to this relationship? What happened in that year that she doesn't hate this person anymore, or he's willing to talk to this person when they weren't talking prior? There was a lot of things that happened after that time jump that I wish we had gotten context for, or at least some explanation of how it went from A to B, which we really didn't. So it needed 2 more episodes, I would say. But overall, I would recommend Miss King. It was different and it was good, and I want more people to watch it. 8.5 out of 10. Next, I'm going to review the Korean movie Lost in Starlight. You can watch this on Netflix. This is an animated Korean movie, which I read somewhere is one of the first ever. I don't know if it's the first ever, but it's one of the first ever. Please correct me if I'm wrong on that. This has gorgeous animation, and it's not like anime animation. It's distinctly unique, in my opinion. It's about an astronaut who's going to Mars, and she is dealing with this new romance that she has, but also some family trauma with going to Mars and her relationship with being an astronaut and her family's relationship with aerospace. That's the word I was looking for. As I said, gorgeous animation. I don't think you could have pulled off this story if it was a live action. The animation and the fact that this movie was animated helped tell the story a lot in a very beautiful way, in my opinion. I loved the sci-fi aspect. It is a futuristic movie, so you have robots and things like that. I thought that was very nice and a unique touch to this movie. But even if it was sci-fi in like a futuristic setting, it was still to me a very grounded and relatable story from multiple angles. You have the romance that was relatable, you have the family dynamic and family trauma that was somewhat relatable to certain people. But also, it's a story about pursuing your dreams and finding a partner and finding people who support those dreams. And I felt that was very relatable as well. There were some unanswered questions by the end for me. I wanted more information about the character's trauma because every main character had some sort of trauma. And I felt like we needed background on how that trauma came about, especially with the male lead, but even with some of the female lead stuff. Loved the OST. This has a beautiful OST. And just in my opinion, it's a very beautiful and wonderful movie and it's a unique experience. So I would highly recommend you check this movie out. I rated this an 8.5 out of 10, and that was Lost in Starlight. Next movie I'm going to review is the Chinese movie Adoring. This is on Amazon Prime. As far as I'm aware, you can just watch it on Amazon Prime. At least in the United States. Be warned, easy criers at movies should be ready to cry if you're going to check this out. It is the cliche thing where if it has animals, something is bound to happen to those animals. Yes, this is a rom-com about animals and it's done very well and it does have some fluffy, heartwarming moments, but you should expect everything from a rom-com with animals. As I said, very fluffy, heartwarming moments at parts. Other parts, you are crying, and it is very sad. I feel like that's kind of a trope when you have animals in movies, so I knew going in something was bound to happen. It had good acting, but in my opinion, nothing spectacular. What really stood out for me is the animal acting. The animals were acting incredible in this. I had a lot of fun watching the animals act in this movie. This is like an anthology. It's about a group of people living in the same apartment complex and how animals affect their relationships, whether that's romantic, father daughter, neighbor, friend. The animals featured in this movie progress and affect those relationships. I liked that. I thought that was very unique. I gave me variety. If for some reason I wasn't liking one story, I found another story I liked. They had different animals. There were cats, there was dogs, there was even a pig, which was surprising. But I liked that it was just a lot of short stories mixed in. Hated that I cried so much. There's a specific scene that I'm sure a lot of people are going to cry at, but I cried at multiple scenes. But I'm also an easy crier. I cried at scenes that like weren't sad and I still cried. I hated that I cried so much with this movie. I will say trigger warning for a dog death. I know that's a spoiler, but if you can't handle that, I rate Adoring 8 out of 10. You can watch it on Amazon Prime. All right, the next one is also a movie that I watched. This is a movie part of the Medical Examiner Dr. Chin series that I was finishing up in January. I watched it on YouTube. It's called Whisper of Silent Body. This was an okay movie. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. The best part was the acting, honestly. They had some great actors in this, but the writing really fell apart. The writing did not support the talent in this movie. The writing had plot that just did not make sense, and I feel like they cut out stuff that should have stayed in. Also, it tried to put in romance again, and I just didn't buy the romance at all. I didn't buy their chemistry. I didn't buy the story behind the romance. The romance just did not work in this movie. It could have been worse, though. The movie could have been worse. I gave Whisper of Silent Body a 7 out of 10. Staying in that same lane of Medical Examiner Dr. Chin, I also finished up the Chinese drama Medical Examiner Dr. Chin Silent Evidence. I watched this on YouTube. I rated it a 7.5 out of 10, so a little better than the movie. The drama was okay, but again, could have been better. I loved how quirky Dr. Chin was in this version. He was so quirky, more quirky than in other versions. It did not need the comedy. Like, I appreciated the comedy, but I think in some moments there was too much comedy. Disliked the female cop at the beginning, but eventually she did grow on me. In my opinion, the romance was not needed. But overall, in the Dr. Chin series, I don't think romance is needed. I also figured out the main bad guy really early on. That kind of affected my liking of this. But some of the individual episodic cases that ended within a couple episodes were interesting. So that kept me interested. But I did miss the romance. This drama specifically really needed some romance because I don't even think we got a trio in this. We had the cop and we had the quirky Dr. Chin. There wasn't even a third to make out the trio, which is of the classic buildup. You have a trio in a Dr. Chin series. This one did not have that. Could have been worse at the same time. I've definitely seen worse in the Dr. Chin series. So it's one of the better ones, and I would recommend if you want to check out the good ones of this series. That was Medical Examiner Dr. Chin Silent Evidence, and I rated it a 7.5 out of 10. This is going to be a long episode. Tune In for Love is the last movie that I completed in January. I rated this a 6 out of 10, and you can watch it on Netflix. Listen, this movie just is not for me. And I knew going into that, and I had to watch this movie for a specific reason. Slice of life is not my genre. We know this. So I normally would not have watched this movie, but I was watching this for a podcast review. If you are into slice of life, if you are into slow burn romances, you should check this movie out. This is not my type of movie. I got bored in parts. The leads have great chemistry. Watch it for the main lead, but that is pretty much the only reason I would recommend it myself. I got frustrated with lack of communication all over this movie. If you get frustrated easily with that, you will be frustrated with this movie. For me, some things were not resolved or explained by the end. And then also, I feel like you could take some things completely out of this movie because they weren't needed, like the creepy boss at the end of the movie. Not needed, really, in my opinion. Watch it for the main couple and their chemistry. That's pretty much it. 6 out of 10. That was Tune In for Love, Korean movie on Netflix. Two more things that I completed in January 2026. We have Medical Examiner Dr. Chin Death Redemption. This is also a shorter Chinese movie that you can watch on YouTube. This seemed to me like a made for TV special type movie, and it was better than the other two specials that I watched in the Dr. Chin series. It at least had an interesting twist at the end that I didn't see coming, but the movie lacked explanation and background. It gave little explanation and background for the characters, the story, and kind of just jumped right into it. It could have used a lot of context. Lead actor was okay, but not great. In my opinion, you can skip this one as well as the other two specials. You can skip those two. And I rated this a 4 out of 10. That was Medical Examiner Dr. Chin, Death Redemption. Last but certainly not least, I continued my tradition of watching all of the Korean drama awards first thing in January. I watch these on Amazon Prime. Usually I watch all three on January 1st. This year, Amazon only had one of the three right on January 1st, so I had to split them out. But I did watch all three eventually. I started off with MBC Drama Awards because that was the only one available, and then a couple days later, Cocoa put the other two award shows on Amazon Prime. I did watch all of them. I'm glad I was able to keep up with the tradition. I think this is 5 years running now. Definitely watched the most SBS K-dramas in 2025, even though I didn't watch a lot of K-dramas overall. But I still had fun revisiting the Korean Drama Awards and keeping up with this tradition. One of the main reasons why I watch these every year is to see the trailers and the teasers for things coming up in the new year. That is everything I completed in January 2026. We still have a lot to talk about, so stick around. Let me know in the comments what you completed. Did you watch anything that I watched? What did you think of my reviews? Let me know. Moving on, we dropped 2 dramas in January. Again, trying to get stuff off my watch list faster. If I'm not enjoying something, drop it. That is how I live. I'm really trying to be more harsh with that statement. Guys, there's so many dramas out there to watch. Don't slug through something. I used to do that so much, and I would not recommend now. Just drop the things you're not enjoying and find something you do enjoy. You can spend your time watching things you love and not slogging through things just to finish it. Just don't do that. Don't do that. I dropped 2 dramas in January 2026, and both were Japanese dramas that I started in December 2025 and brought over from that year. First one is Learning to Love. You can watch this on Netflix. It was very popular when it was airing in 2025, and a lot of people did like it. I watched around 3 episodes, and I just could not warm up to the female lead. I really tried to like her, and at parts I did. I liked her when she was with the male lead. I liked her teaching the male lead. But then the other parts I was like, "Come on, woman." I just could not stand her in other parts. And so I found myself avoiding watching more episodes because I just could not deal with her for another episode, and that told me to drop it. So I dropped Learning to Love. The other Japanese drama I dropped was Romantics Anonymous. You can also watch this on Netflix. A lot of people love this. I think I watched 2 more episodes of this. I watched up to episode 4, 3, something like that. The leads, they were just too awkward for me. They didn't grow on me. I couldn't get past that. I liked that they were supporting each other and getting through their phobias and everything, but just something was not clicking for me, was not working for me. I just couldn't get used to how awkward they were individually, but also together. I also did not particularly like the female lead going after the second male lead and how she went about doing that at moments. I don't know. There was something with the leads I just did not vibe with, and eventually I dropped it because I was like, I don't think I'm going to warm up to these people either. So I just dropped it after 3 or 4 episodes. It just wasn't for me. But those are the only 2 things I dropped in January. A lot of other people like these dramas, so don't take it as me telling you not to watch it. I would say try it out. It might work for you, but these 2 just did not work for me. Moving on to the second half of the episode, we are going to talk about everything I'm looking forward to, and let me tell you, I'm looking forward to a lot. I honestly don't know where I'm going to find the time to watch everything. February is basically looking like it's going to explode with some amazing looking dramas coming out and rumored to come out. I already have a ton of dramas from January I still need to click play on, but that also just means I'll add them to my plan to watch list and have a lot to choose from. Just a reminder, I am trying not to watch dramas, especially Korean dramas, as they air in 2026. So most of the Korean dramas I'm going to talk about, and probably most of the Chinese dramas at this point, because I still have January things to watch, I'm not going to watch as they air. I might start halfway through. I might start when they're done. We'll see what happens. I am definitely curious what will end up completing and starting in February because I have some things I need to watch for the podcast. As I said, a lot of things from January I still haven't watched. There's quite a few dramas in February that I am excited for, and I'll be interesting what I get to for sure. The first drama I'm going to talk about is Honor. This is a Korean drama. It is supposed to air tomorrow. I have no idea where it's airing internationally, though. It might not have an international platform. If anybody knows where this is airing, please let me know because I really want to watch this one. But as of right now, it has not been confirmed on any streaming platform. It stars Lee Na Young, Jung Eun Chae, and Lee Chung Ah. And then some of the male leads are Seo Hyun Woo, Yeon Woo Jin, who I love, and Choi Young Joon, who you might recognize. Um, Lee Na Young, you might recognize from Romance is a Bonus Book. She was the female lead in that. Jung Eun Chae, you might recognize from Pachinko or King Eternal Monarch. And then Lee Chung Ah, you might recognize from My Dearest or Celebrity or Awaken, that type of drama. Powerhouse female actresses, in my opinion. This is a lawyer drama. This is a law drama. It is about three female lawyers who have been friends since university, and they all work together in this one law firm. And apparently, the law firm specializes in female crime victims. And so you have these three female lawyers who are great lawyers in their own right, but also probably have personal issues and problems that are going to be talked about in this drama. Apparently, something happened with the three of them 20 years ago, and it has now come into play again 20 years in the present. Two things piqued my interest with this. One, it's a law drama. Of course, I'm going to want to watch it. Crime, law, I always am there. I love that the drama concentrates on female characters and female stories. At least that's how it tells me it's going to be because they do work at a law firm that concentrates on female crime victims. That tells me most of the crimes have to deal with those specific crimes. The second thing is it's about three female lawyers who have been friends for 20 years. We'll have a female-led drama talking about female crimes. All of three of these actresses are great. I am looking forward to some powerful and impactful stories and powerful performances from all three of these actresses. I'm really curious how their personal life gets roped into the story, especially if they're dealing with this secret coming out that happened 20 years prior. Each female lead is in a different point in their life. I'm looking forward to the mix of personal, professional drama that probably are roped together. We have three male leads, so possibly some romance. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but this again is nowhere on any international streaming platform that I can find right now. Hopefully, it is added somewhere because it does start tomorrow, February 2nd. Next up, we're going to talk about Bloody Flower, also a crime drama. In my opinion, kind of came out of nowhere. I really didn't know anything about this until the trailer came out. It premieres on February 4th. It is 8 episodes. This apparently is a Disney Plus drama. No confirmation that it's coming to Hulu, but I have confirmed it's coming to Cocoa, so it might be on Amazon Prime if you have a Cocoa subscription there. I don't know how that's worked out because it is a Disney Plus drama, so I don't know how that's worked out where all of a sudden it's now on Cocoa. No idea. But anyway, I have confirmed I did go on Cocoa online in the United States and it is there in the coming soon, so it supposedly is going to be on Cocoa. I'll be curious to see if that means it's on Amazon Prime if you have a Cocoa subscription. Sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't. It depends. Bloody Flower has a really interesting setup, and I don't know what to make of it. I apologize in advance if I butcher any of these names because I'm horrible at pronouncing the male lead's name. Male lead is Rune, It's not Rowoon from SF9. It's Raoun, Ryeo, last name UN. I apologize. I butchers his name so badly. He was in Twinkling Watermelon and also in Death's Game and Weak Hero Class 2. You would recognize him. Anyway, it also stars Sung Dong-il as his lawyer, and then Kim Se-rook is the prosecutor. You might recognize Kim Se-rook from Iron Family or Youth of May. Sung Dong-il, I mean, you would recognize him from anything. He's a very prominent veteran actor. Typhoon Family, Art of Negotiation, Curtain Call, Pro Bono that recently ended. You recognize him. So the story of this is Ryo-eun is arrested for kidnapping people, and during investigating that kidnapping, it's discovered that his character has murdered over 200 people because he was human testing. And apparently, he claims that he can cure all human diseases. And he says he's developed this technology to cure all of these diseases. And apparently, patients have come forward and testified that, yes, he did cure me. So he has statements as evidence to say he has cured them. And he promises that he will reveal this magical medical technology, but they can't prosecute him for the 200 plus experiments that he conducted and 200 plus possibly murders that he's done. There's this dilemma where the prosecutor is like, hey, I want to put him away for these 200 deaths. But then Sung Dong-il is his lawyer, and apparently his lawyer wants to save him because he has a daughter who is sick and wants to use this miracle medical treatment to cure her. So I guess the story or the question of this drama is he a killer? Did he actually cure all these people? What is the story behind this guy? And that's the curious part for me because there's got to be a twist somewhere. You know, it's got to be a twist somewhere in the story where if it's either proven correct or not proven correct at all. And then it would obviously be heartbreaking for his lawyer. That is what is intriguing about this story for me because I am intrigued about what that twist might be. Of course, it's a crime drama, so I am interested in it. It looks intense. It's a completely different role that I've seen Ryo-eun do. As I've said, he's the perceived villain in this, and I don't think I've ever seen him pull off a villain. Same with Kim Se-rook. I've only seen her in like dramas and romance dramas. So she playing a prosecutor looks like a very hard-ass prosecutor in this dark crime drama. I'm curious how they would portray those roles. The synopsis just seems like this story is going to be wild and, of course, really dark because it's a Disney Plus drama. That was Bloody Flower. Apparently, it's going to be on Cocoa. I can't confirm that until the day of. We'll see what happens. And it's going to premiere February 4th. Next drama I'm looking forward to is a Taiwanese drama that I had no idea was coming out until I was making this list. And I realized I had watched the trailer for this, but hadn't realized it was a Taiwanese drama. This is Million Follower Detective. This is also a dark crime drama. It looks pretty dark and creepy. I don't know anybody who stars in it. It stars Ekin Cheng, Patty Lee, Lily Zen, Kent Sai, Diane Lin. I have never seen any of these people in a drama before. But if it's anything like any of the other dark crime Taiwanese dramas I've watched in the last couple years, I definitely would put this on this list. So this drama is 8 episodes. It's going to be on Netflix and it will be out February 12th. All the episodes will be out February 12th. It is about a detective who races to unmask this viral tarot reader who accurately predicts the death of influencers. It's about being online and getting likes. Apparently, this police officer is a veteran cop, older man who obviously doesn't really understand the internet these days and influencers and that type. So he's very old school when it comes to being a cop. And apparently these influencers start dying and word gets around that this tarot reader who does tarot readings online have accurately predicted the people who have died. And so he now has to hunt this person down. We don't know if it's a man or a woman to see if they are the killer or know who the killer is. And it looks creepy because the tail reader itself has a very creepy mask on whenever he or she streams and makes their voice sound different. Their voice sounds like a child, like a little girl, when you clearly are looking at an adult, obviously to mask who they might be in real life. It sounds like an interesting setup. It obviously has social commentary on the internet, of course. That's what Million Follower Detective is. It's going to be 8 episodes. It's going to be out on Netflix. It looks creepy. Seems like they've cast some good actors and actresses in it, so I'm curious about this one, especially because it's right up my alley. And Taiwan has done some really good crime dramas in the last couple years. Last drama I'm going to talk about that has a confirmed premiere date is The Art of Sarah. This is a Korean drama that is also coming to Netflix. It will be out February 13th. It stars Shin Hae-sun and Lee Jun-hyuk. You obviously know both of them. Shin Hae-sung is from Mr. Queen or Welcome to Samdali. Lee Jae-hyuk obviously is from Love Scout from last year or Mercy from Nun from last year or Stranger. Also, Shin Hae-sun was in Stranger too, if you did not know. So this is another crime drama out of Korea. It is 8 episodes. It will be out on February 13th. All the episodes will be out that day. Apparently, this is about Shin Hae-sung's character. She plays Sarah Kim. My interpretation of the trailer and the synopsis is she ends up dying. And then Lee Jun-hyuk comes in as the police detective and starts investigating her murder. And so you kind of work backwards. She dies at the beginning, and him investigating her shows what her life was like and the fact that she has a very mysterious identity and no one really truly knew who she was. That is what I'm getting. He, as the cop, has to investigate who might have had motive to kill her, but then also discovers that she has a lot of secrets and is hiding a lot of things. Try to discover who she really was, who the real Sarah Kim was, and what type of things was she hiding with her life that caused her death. That is my interpretation of the synopsis. Of course, I am super excited for this because of it being a crime drama, but I'm also very excited because of the cast. I think the cast is the big draw for me. I love both of these actors. I'm excited to see their chemistry, even though I don't know how much they'll be working together because she is essentially dead. This is also a reunion for them because they both starred in Stranger Season 1 together, and I thought they had great chemistry in Stranger Season 1. I am really curious about them working together again, and we know the acting is gonna be top-notch in this Korean drama because they are both fantastic. I'm also curious how the plot is gonna unfold because, as I said, she's the murder victim in this, so we already know how it's gonna end in terms of she ends up dying. But how is that going to play out when it comes to the plot unfolding and what secrets are going to be revealed of who her character is? I always like when crime dramas do this because it's always exciting to find out those secrets. It's not new, like crime dramas have done this before, but it's always unique how they unfold those story points because I think every drama and show that does it in a different way. I'd be curious how The Art of Sarah is going to do it. That is everything that I am interested in that has premiere dates and possibly a platform. Not everything has a platform, as we know, but everything has confirmed premiere dates. Now let's move into some rumored Chinese dramas that I'm excited for in February 2026. Some of the Chinese dramas that I already mentioned in my December wrap-up post is now actually premiering in February, so I will not talk about those again, but just know The Truth, which I talked about in my December wrap-up post, is now confirmed for February 3rd, and then Generation is rumored for February 23rd premiere. We'll see if that happens. The rumored Chinese drama I'm going to talk about are subject to change, of course, and I truly believe there's a lot that we don't even know is going to be premiering. Because as we know, C Drama Land is kind of all over the place all the time, and it definitely is gearing up for a big drama month in February for sure, with the holidays and everything coming up. First one I'm going to talk about probably needs no introduction because a lot of people are excited for this, and that is Unveil Jade Wind. This is rumored to come out February 5th. We'll see if that's confirmed. We've been seeing posters and things, so in my opinion, it probably is going to come around that time, but we haven't seen a date. This is a Yoku drama. If you are one who pay attention to Chinese dramas and when they're coming out, you will be not surprised at all that this is on my I'm excited for February list. This stars Bai Lu and Wan Xingyu. Bai Lu, of course, we know from dramas like Moonlight Mystique or Story of Kuning Palace. Wang Xingyu, of course, we know from The Double or Perfect Match, The Wanted Detective, those types of dramas. Should be no surprise why I'm excited for this one. This is a historical investigation drama. Bai Lu plays a chief guard, and Wang Xingyu plays another investigator, and they are investigating a death at a banquet, a princess's death at a banquet. And thus, by investigating that case, they uncover a bunch of other mysterious cases in this era. So they start investigating all these weird cases and this death of this princess. Straightforward investigation, historical drama for sure. I'm obviously interested in this drama because of that. I love historical investigation Chinese dramas. Bai Lu and Wang Xingyu being in it. I also love watching them both. This is not the first time they've acted together, so it's always fun to see them act in the same drama again. Trailer looks really nice. I hear Bai Lu trained for like 3 months for this drama with the fight scenes. That tells me the fight scenes are going to look really good in this drama. I'm looking forward to that. I'm just excited for her to do this role. I know they both can pull it off. We'll see if it is actually coming out February 5th, but right now that is the rumored date for that. The next rumored Chinese drama is Rebirth. This is rumored for February 6th. I will tell you why I'm excited for this, because I watched Princess Agents and it has needed a season 2 for years, and we're finally getting it. Now, this is rumored for February 6th. I, again, have not seen any confirmation of this at all. The trailer for this Chinese drama that it came out last year looked insane. It looked really good, high quality. The trailer really sold the drama for me. And now, I have not watched Princess Agents in years. In years. I think it's a 2017 drama, so almost 10 years. I probably watched it in like 2018, 2019. I probably should rewatch Princess Agents before I watch Rebirth because I don't remember a lot of it other than the main story points that is kind of infamous at this point if you have watched that Chinese drama. Might do a rewatch before I check this out. I would be lying. The reason why I'm interested is the male lead. I'm currently watching Blossom. I also love Lee Yoon-rae. Even before I watched Blossom, he has always been a good actor to me. Also stars Zhang Kanlei, who you might know. Li Meng from The Double is a support role in this. The female lead is Wang Yang Tian, who, funny enough, played the younger version of the female lead in Princess Agents. She is now reprising the role as the main lead. You would recognize her from drama. She is very, very recognizable younger actress who's up and coming in China. But the trailer really sold me on this. This is a high quality Chinese drama. At least the trailer looked good. I also love a good historical wuxia drama, so that's another reason why I'm excited for it. But that's Rebirth. It's rumored for February 6th. We'll see if it actually comes out. Next rumored Chinese drama is Live Up to Your Youth. This is rumored for February 18th. At least the next rumored one I'm interested in, I should say. This stars Bai Yu, which you, of course, know why I am now excited for this drama. Zhang Ronan, Jelly Lin, Wang Yanlin, Tian Yu, Songjia Ten. Bai Yu, of course, is now in the Sword and Plowshares drama that's airing right now, but you might know him from The Bond or The Long Night. just to name a couple of his dramas. I love him as an actor. Zhang Ronan, you might know from Love and Pavilion from last year, The First Frost, of course, from last year. Jelly Lynn, you might recognize from Whispers of Fate. She was in that. Les Bells, which I hear was pretty popular last year. Imperfect Victim, The Dream of Splendor. She's done some pretty big roles as well. Live Up to Your Youth takes place in 1990s Beijing, and it's about this guest house where a group of young creative people live and are trying to break into their respective industries. So we have Bai Yu, who's a struggling screenwriter. We have Zhang Ronan, who sings and is trying to get to like the bigger stages of singing. We have Jelly Lin, who is trying to be an actress. We have Wang Yanlin, who's trying to be a saxophonist. We have Tian Yu, who's working as an extra on drama sets. And then finally, we have Song Ji-ten, who is an artist. And they all are trying to pursue their dreams and make it and give it a shot in 1990s Beijing. If you have listened to this podcast for any length of time or read the blog, you obviously know I'm a huge fan of Bai Yu. He's the major draw for me for this. The premise of this Chinese drama looks like a new one in terms of watching it during the winter time. It looks like a very heartwarming drama. It sounds like we're going to get a lot of found family with this one and possibly a romance or two between the characters, whether they're guests at the guest house or maybe people they meet outside of the guest house. We'll see what happens. We'll see if this actually premieres on February 18th. I'm really curious what people will think when they actually watch it. Also, Live Up to Your Youth is an iQIYI drama. As I said, Unveiled Jade Wing is a Youku drama. Reef Birth is iQIYI and Tencent drama. Just FYI. Next drama is also an iQIYI drama. It is called Touch. This is rumored for February 27th. Listen, I had no idea this drama existed until the trailer dropped. And let me tell you, this is a spicy trailer. One of the more spiciest trailers I've ever seen for a Chinese drama. The synopsis sounds like we got some time travel with this one, which I'm very curious about. It stars Elvira Chai, who you might remember from Unnatural Fire or Fake It Till You Make It. It also stars Chang Jing-ke, who you might know from Persona or Amidst a Snowstorm of Love, or The Eternal Love, Season 3, that type of thing. Those are the two main people, the two leads. This is about a director who apparently finds herself in a complicated relationship with the male lead. The synopsis does not tell me what that complicated relationship is. Apparently, though, she time travels back to her university days, and they apparently have a history in her university days. So this is them, I'm assuming, rediscovering, or at least her rediscovering her relationship with the male lead in college and either dealing with whatever problems they had in college or even in the present, and maybe like a healing drama when it comes to their romance, something along those lines. But either way, the female lead, I don't know if the male lead also is time traveled back. It was not said in the synopsis or the trailer, but she for sure time travels back. As I said, the trailer looks really spicy, very spicy, and I really hope the Chinese drama turns out to be just as spicy as the trailer and it's not just like a marketing thing, because that got me really interested. I have seen both of the leads, not as much as like some of the other actors and actresses I like, but I like them. They're good. Their chemistry obviously seems really nice when it comes to the trailer. So I'm curious about the time travel part of this. That's what also got me interested in it. That was Touch. It is rumored for February 27th. All right, the next 3 Chinese dramas are just rumored for February. There's no rumored date, but these are 3 more Chinese dramas that I'm excited for, rumored for February. We'll see what happens. First up, we have Born with Luck. This is also an iQIYI drama. You can tell that I'm very much into the iQIYI network dramas. This is a crime drama called Born with Luck, 24 episodes. It stars Zhao Wang, or Lawrence Wang, if you know him by his English name, Zhao Wang, and Tian Shiwei. Tian Shiwei is the reason why I'm interested in this, because I don't think I've ever seen her in a crime drama. This is about Lawrence Wang, or Xiao Wang, He plays a veteran detective and he is sent out to investigate a case, but ends up getting caught up in more crime and more corruption. And while investigating this case and figuring out this criminal network, he unexpectedly receives help from these thieves that apparently are helping him in solving this case, which eventually turns into a murder case. As I said, I am very much interested in this because Chen Shi-wei, I don't think I've ever seen her do a crime drama before. I also don't think I've ever pictured her doing a crime drama before. Wang Xiao being in a crime drama is no surprise. He is known for his detectives and he's done detective dramas and crime dramas before. He's good at them. I'm just really curious about him and Ten Shui working together. It has somewhat of a comedy aspect to it, at least from the one trailer I've watched, but that's about it. They haven't really been promoting this beyond the one trailer and poster they did last year, so we'll see if this actually premieres in February or not, but it's rumored for February. Next up, one I'm very excited for, and I know we'll get it eventually this year, but I really, really, really want it now because I'm very biased with this. So, Ferryman 10th anniversary is rumored for February. If you have no idea what this drama is, Ferryman, or The Ferryman, I should say, is a very, very famous old Chinese drama series. As you can tell from the title, it's been 10 years since the original series. They are doing a 10th anniversary drama. I don't know if it's a reboot or if it's just like we're celebrating 10th anniversary. My assumption is celebrating 10th anniversary. If you have no idea what the Ferryman series is, it's an iQIYI production. The Ferryman is about a man who gets a job at this convenience store. He just graduated from university and he's looking for a job and he decides to get a job at this convenience store because it's a job, right? And he finds out that the convenience store is haunted after midnight, and it tends to be a connection between two different parallel worlds, the living and probably basically the dead, which you see as the ferryman. This had 3 seasons, maybe 2 seasons and a remake. I know like Singapore did a remake a couple years ago. Yeah, 3 seasons, and then Singapore did a remake, and apparently now they are doing a 10th anniversary of this and bringing back the original cast as well and introducing this whole world again and putting in a whole mystery. It's a supernatural, somewhat horror mystery. People who have been watching Chinese dramas for a long time and have been fans of this show are very excited for this drama. Me, for one. I know I at least watched season 1 of this drama, and I can't remember if I watched season 2 or season 3, but I loved season 1 when I watched it, and I definitely watched it not at like 10 years ago exactly, but probably a couple years after it aired. I had to have watched more than 1 season because I feel like I watched at least 2. Anyway, very excited for this because I'm such a fan of the original. I probably should rewatch the original because I don't remember much of it, just like Princess Agents. But they released a trailer for this when it wrapped up filming, and it looked so good. It looked so good and very nostalgic. Also, who doesn't love a good supernatural drama, right? The Ferryman 10th anniversary is rumored for February. We'll see if that actually happens or not. That is also an iQIYI production. And then lastly, the last Chinese drama that I heard is rumored for February is a drama called Sheng Nu. This stars Mai Si-chun, Ning Li, Mabel Yuan, I never know how to pronounce that last name, and Zizi Lu. This is a revenge drama. It's on Tencent whenever it actually airs. Apparently, Mai Si-chun plays this math genius, and her best friend, played by Mabel Yuan, and business partner, which I'm assuming is Ning Li. I could be wrong. He could not be her business partner, but I'm assuming them two. They betray her. They frame her, and this causes her to be thrown into a mental facility, apparently. A treatment center, basically. And she's accused of drug addiction and doing all these horrible things to her family, and she stays in this facility for 3 years, 4 years, something like that, and she gets out after those 3 years, and now she wants revenge on the people who betrayed her, framed her, said she did all this stuff. I love Mai Si-jun. I've always liked her, but in the last couple of years, I think she has picked some really interesting Chinese dramas. Granted, I need to watch some, but I will always watch her in anything. I had no idea this drama existed, but we love a good revenge drama over here. Especially, it sounds like it's a woman getting revenge on another woman. So it's not a woman getting revenge on her scumbag husband who cheated on her or something, which we have seen in Chinese dramas before, of course. So it's interesting that it's going to be a woman getting revenge on her best friend. I think that's really unique and might be like a woman-centered, women-led Chinese drama, which we like to see. But that is Shengnu, and the last Chinese drama I'm interested in that is rumored for February. Last but certainly not least, we have some older dramas I plan to start in February due to podcast recordings and other things, or just things that I want to watch in general. The one thing I do plan to watch in February due to a podcast recording is Embrace the Moon. This is a vertical Chinese drama that I'm going to be a guest on somebody else's podcast for. Me and vertical Chinese dramas have an interesting relationship because I'm addicted to them at one time. They're not good, but they're addictive. Some are good. It depends on what you watch. I don't know. I love The Couple because this couple has done many, many vertical Chinese dramas together. I love The Couple in this, so I'm hoping I'll like it. But I'm going to be doing a future podcast recording on it, so you'll get an episode on that review. I also plan on starting Glory now that it's over. People have been telling me to watch A Love Song in Winter. I want to watch that. The Guilty is a crime Chinese drama that kind of just came out of nowhere and premiered in January. I heard it's pretty good, so I might start that. The Boyfriend Season 2, that Japanese variety show, it ends in February, and I plan on starting that once I finish Culinary Class Wars. And then The Company is just a Chinese drama that is from December, and I just never click play on it. So if I have room, maybe I'll start that as well. We'll see what else I start. I don't know. I haven't really decided. I might start Taxi Driver Season 3. We'll see what happens. We'll see how my watch list ends up. But those are some things I'm looking at to starting in February. But only one is really needed to be watched because of a podcast recording. Everything else is just me like on vibes and if I want to watch it or not. But that is the end of the episode. That is, I know, is a super long podcast episode. Hopefully you have stuck it to the end. Thank you for listening. Let me know in the comments what you plan to watch in February and what you completed in January. And I will say again, F ICE, and people stay safe out there. Support wherever you can support. Thank you very much.
If you want to continue the conversations about dramas that were started in this episode, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky under the username No Sleep for Dramas. That is No Sleep, the number 4 dramas, just like in the title of the podcast. This podcast is also an expansion of my blog, so you can visit my blog at www.nosleepfordramas.com, the number 4 dramas.com, and find multiple years of blog posts already available at your fingertips. All links are in the description of this episode. Finally, please give this podcast a like or a follow wherever you listen to the podcast. Leaving a comment or a review also helps a lot. We love hearing ideas and feedback from all of you. Share the podcast with your friends as well. Thank you for listening. This has been an episode of the No Sleep for Dramas podcast, and I am your host, Caitlin. I will see you here next time, and I hope you get no sleep chasing the next episode just like me. Good night.